Thank you very much, Riv. 2018 for TSM, the worst performing year of the organization. 2019 was all about redemption, rebuilding, and recapturing that former glory that is the most prolific organization in North America. And to take C9 down in a 5-game series, reverse sweep to book your trip to the finals, oh my goodness, what better way to do it?
I mean, it just tells you everything you're doing is right. They are on a warpath right now. That reverse sweep is just incredible because it looked like it was going to be a 3-0. Our reservations for dinner were pushed 2 hours forward.
We pushed those, baby!
I mean, that was honestly such an amazing series for how they came back into the game in the series overall, just the adaptations that they made, as well as the fact that they did play a different style, this series, where there was not as much about top lane focus. People were going mid more, and there was a lot more focus on the jungle than we thought there might have been coming in. So this was a super fun series to watch and see how it evolved over time. And I just think this was easily one of the best series we're going to see this entire year.
Encore.
We make them play 7.
Well, you got to wait a week to see this team play again, but let's take a look at how this 5th and final game ended.
Right, like I said, these fights are going to take forever. You have so many tanky people from Cloud9. You have so many revives from TSM that these fights just last forever, and it's just a battle of attrition and seeing who makes the right plays. You'll see back and forth throughout the entire fight.
We've heard TSM speak about this exact same composition because it's not the first time they run it, and they're of the opinion that the longer the game goes, the better it's for them. And that's because of how difficult it becomes to engage onto them. Who do you go? How do you even start doing this? Everybody can keep each other alive. They're also mobile and difficult to kite. It's really nasty.
This is one of the only fights they could win because Smoothie used his Braum shield early, and it was a good job by Zeyzal capitalizing on that minor mistake, which sets up the Braum ult. But even after that, to the point about how hard this comp is, yeah, you get a sick engage, and then look at Broken Blade like completely zoning away the backline. Now Sven, your second target, is reviving, and no one can go back onto him because Broken Blade's protecting him. You barely are able to kill him, and these fights were so insanely close. I still think C9 did a decent job playing into a very tough comp. But after enough, times, eventually you come up short. You don't find the right targets, and TSM played super well, limiting the amount of mistakes they made. You could count on a single hand, I think, in team fights the mistakes they made.
Right, and with this comp specifically, I remember Bjergsen saying that they played against this comp when Blabber and Golden Group played, I believe, and they're like, wow, this comp is super annoying. So now come back, they get their revenge, and they're like, hey, in game 5, we're going to bring out your comp to beat you guys with it. So that's really cool to see.
That's a nice historic callback there. You see the gold graph. It paints the picture you guys were talking about, that this was a very exciting game 5. It wasn't, completely in one team's favor from the get-go, and that spells the end of a close best-of-5 series, kind of fizzling out. No, it ended in a climactic fashion. 40 minutes, one of the longer games of the series, as both teams had shown their own dominance at different points.
Well, there's moments where you're thinking Cloud9 has a way back in. That's a late-game Sivir with upgraded items. They found a fight, 2 inhibitors down out of all times to be able to come back. Then they secure an Elder Dragon. You have to be thinking that it must have been just hanging on a hair for both teams.
We'll have more opportunity to talk shop in just a moment. Before we continue, though, Avali has an interview with TSM's player of the series, Bjergsen.
Thanks, Dash. I am here with Bjergsen. Congratulations on winning Player of the Series. Now, for me, it was your Game 3 Akali that just put you way above everyone else. But what was the series like for you?
Obviously very stressful and very long with all the pauses and the really rough first 2 games. It felt like I thought we would kind of get the nerves out of the way in the Fox series because we got to play at best of 5 already in playoffs, but still I could feel it. I could feel that we weren't really on point, and it felt like I guess we needed those losses to truly play like we had nothing to lose and really go all out.
And those first 2 games against Cloud9 of this series were the tough ones. You had the Sona and Tarek, and both of those games incredibly fast. But then after game 2, it looked like you guys understood Cloud9 and pulled off the reverse sweep. So how were you able to pull that off?
I think just kind of calming down a little bit and knowing that, now we have nothing to lose left. We just play as if, it's 0-0 again. And I think in the first 2 games, we felt really antsy and we were kind of fighting everything and not really wanting to give a lot of things up or getting the proper position. So I think it was just about kind of recognizing these things that we're doing wrong, that we don't normally do wrong, and just having the confidence to keep playing and not feel down on ourselves just because we're 0-2.
Now, in this series, I believe you actually had your 100th playoff game. So as a veteran, are you still dealing with these nerves?
Oh, yeah, I'm a little old now, but I think there's always a little bit of nerves, but I have learned to deal with them much more than a lot of other players that haven't played as long as me. So I feel like since I'm the veteran, I have to be the one to kind of make my teammates feel comfortable and make them feel just ready to play the games. And that kind of takes the nerves off of me because I feel like I just have to focus on my teammates and make sure that they're comfortable and happy and ready to play their best.
And is there anyone from this game or from this series specifically that you'd like to shout out from your team? I spoke with Smoothie and he's like, everyone on TSM did great.
I think Acadian, he didn't play very well the first few games, and I didn't know if he really had it in him to play well in a series like this, but he got better and better every game. He had a really good Rek'Sai game where C9 felt like they had to take his Rek'Sai away in the last game, and then he picked Kindred, and he played really well on the Kindred, maybe better than I've seen him playing Kindred before. So I'm just really happy for Matt that he managed to reset in between the games and come back and play so strongly in the last couple games.
Well, I'm very excited to see both him and the entire team play in the Sheafitz Arena in St. Louis, but your opponent hasn't been decided yet. It's either going to be Team Liquid or FlyQuest. Who do you expect to meet there?
Obviously, TL has looked really strong all split, but I think the best of 5 can definitely go either way. I think that the teams play very differently, and they have very different kind of champions and play styles, so I can't really say who we'll be facing, but I think most likely just due to how long a lot of the players on TL have played and how comfortable they are in these high-pressure situations, I think that they'll take the series.
Well, I'm excited to see both that series and your final series in St. Louis. Bjergsen, thank you and congratulations again. For more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Avli. Bjergsen, your player of this series, talking about how poorly those first couple games went. Hitting 102 career postseason games now since this one went the full 5. But I think we need to point to this very specific moment here on the Akali, where everything shifted for TSM and allowed them to strike back.
That was really it. This was the moment that gave every member of TSM the confidence to say, our leader is not giving up. None of us should do so as well. And so by giving that confidence to the rest of the team, you're able to pull off a reverse sweep. And he was so focused into that game, he didn't even know he was playing the 100th match. It was just another day at the office.
Right, and like throughout the 5-game series, his KDA is insane throughout this. The last 3 games, he had 0 deaths. The first 2, I believe, was a total of 2 to 3-ish deaths. So he's definitely underrating himself with what he did in these games. And to have 0 deaths and 3 wins is an insane stat, considering that he was getting camped in a few of those games too. It's not like they're just ignoring him, they're trying to kill him.
Right, I mean, the fact that like he did not start this series super hot with the Jace early on into the Tarek Sona comp where he just like couldn't do anything on the pick and then was getting ganked early on, the Corki not having a huge impact. And then that Akali game is just like the stuff of legend that will be remembered for their entire season because they were losing that game. They were facing down, getting swept by C9, and then he goes and finds monstrous flank after monstrous flank to win them that game and bring them back into the series.
Now, we've got a best of 5 tomorrow to determine who TSM will be facing in St. Louis. That, of course, is between Team Liquid and FlyQuest. But I want to talk about this TSM team in the context of a finals. Again, the last time they were there was summer 2017, so they've gone a full year, a little bit more so. Since they've seen that final stage. You've got a veteran on the stage who can lead that charge, but people like Acadian, who have had their ups and downs throughout this entire playoffs itself, are going to be stepping onto that stage for the first time.
Yeah, but he has the team to back him up. Bjergsen in the interview was very candid about what he felt Acadian was going through. Didn't even know if he had it in him, but being able to pull that out means that this team now has even more confidence in each other, and they just keep getting better. That train that they had in the regular season now carried over to Echo Fox, and in this match against Cloud9, it doesn't get more majestic than in the reverse sweep. I think they have to be coming into favorites regardless of tomorrow's result.
Right, and I think moving forward to the finals, I really hope they don't start on a slow foot again. Like you saw last week and today, they started off the day losing. And if they do that against, say, for example, Team Liquid or FlyQuest, I don't know if Team Liquid or FlyQuest will give TSM the opportunity to come back. You saw C9 do some questionable drafts and plays. I don't know if Team Liquid or FlyQuest would do the same thing.
And I mean, as much as we were talking about this being a redemption arc for TSM, the arc's not over. You still want to go and pick up that win. Last year was the first time they didn't make a finals. And it's nice to be back in the finals, but I don't think that whole journey is complete till they win their next one. And this org always feels like the next one's just around the corner. So it's really cool to see them back.
Well, it's a huge deal for Sven as well, right? Coming over from Europe, winning there so much and not being able to do so last year. So now finally getting the shot at the title. So here he has the opportunity to say, yes, I was amazing in Europe and I can still deliver in NA.
Right, and if they play to the game that they know they're capable of playing, like Bjergsen was saying, if they go into the game being comfortable, knowing that they can take these fights because they're mechanically better, and they do that, I'm really excited to see them play in the finals. And if they win the finals, I'd be happy to see them at MSI for us, if they play the way that they should play. So I'm looking forward to that.
And the other thing you have to consider, right, is the fact that with Bjergsen moving into this finals, he's currently tied with Doublelift in terms of the number of titles that each of these players hold. We're still waiting to see if Doublelift will join him there, but what a clash of titans that would be to see those two guys meet on stage in a final and battle for that top spot of most trophies in the trophy case.
From a historical perspective, TL versus TSM is insane because they're literally fighting each other for the first one who can get 6. That's crazy, but at the same time, even if FlyQuest wins, that has to be like the most emotionally cathartic storyline you could ever have with like the guys who are always
and Turtle
and all the second fiddles and getting ditched by their teams and running the gauntlet of the best teams in North America to get to the finals. Like that too would be such a crazy storyline.
Right, and it's been 2 years since they made top 4, since I was playing on them, and playing on a big stage is way different than playing in front of like a smaller crowd. And for FlyQuest, after them rebranding this year and trying new initiatives for their marketing plan, their players, it'd be a huge thing for the organization.
TSM have done it. They pulled off the reverse sweep and have booked their trip to the Chaifetz Arena next Saturday. Again, that is Saturday, not Sunday, as in years past. We'll see if Team Liquid will get their chance to defend the title, as they have to get through FlyQuest tomorrow for their shot at TSM. Let's quickly preview that matchup tomorrow. Again, most people will point to the #1 team in the regular season as the favorites, but we've seen a lot of grit coming from that FlyQuest squad.
And everyone keeps saying these two teams have very different play styles, and when you have different play styles, it can go either way. One person is not prepared for what the other team is bringing, and suddenly the gates get blown wide open. If Viper, the rookie of the split, can show up tomorrow, I think that FlyQuest has a real shot.
And I think it's been coming down to junglers more than I would have anticipated at the start heading into playoffs. The Golden Guardians versus FlyQuest one was very heavily about junglers. Same in the Echo Fox versus TSM one. Now again, C9 versus TSM. It keeps being these first pick junglers that seem to be influencing these games. And with Santorin being the only guy to break into the top 3 of All-Pro who wasn't on one of the top 3 teams, it's going to fall a lot on his shoulders.
It'll be cool to see how Team Liquid has developed since we last seen them. The last time we saw them, they were on a 1-3 streak, and we saw FlyQuest battling it out.
Against Golden Guardians?
Yes, Golden Guardians in the best of 5, and they showed some grit during there and made good comebacks. So we'll see them playing against Team Liquid tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited. I think the game will go a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, as far as we know, they could just come in and say, surprise, we're amazing still. You guys made all this content, talked so much about it, but we still crushed everyone.
It could absolutely go either way. You've got the expected favorites in Team Liquid, but you've got that fire, that passion in the eyes of the FlyQuest guys who are looking to unseat them and take their shot at a title. If you need more League, though, stay tuned for the LEC rebroadcast of G2 versus Origin, where the two powerhouses clashed for a spot in the final. But for now, myself, the casters, the entire live broadcast crew, we're going to thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last semifinal match. Good night.
Most of the finals in LCS have been C9 versus TSM.
The preparation has been laid. Game #1 about to get on the table.
Smoothie gonna be in some trouble after that one. Onslaught of Shadows coming in, looking to find him, take him down. It's a Garen is on a killing spree.
I'm here soon. Win this.
Yeah. Nice.
Good fight.
Yeah.
I can go, yeah. Puppy. Nice, go.
Cloud9, having already secured the objective, will now look for the fight. They'll find Bjergsen, they'll find Smoothie, they'll find Sven, and Cloud9 will look to find the win right here. He can join the fight rather easily. He might be a second or two late, but his opponent cannot join him. Oh! Iski!
Get it, Ross. Rash is dead.
Nice.
Kill them all. Kill them both. No flash Bjergsen. He just gave.
Smoothie's rooted up. Damage coming through. Svenskeren over the wall, looking to take down Broken Flame. The damage is there.
It's Svenskeren versus TSM. He chases them back.
We can fight this guy. Ezreal, Jace, no flash.
I'm boosting you. I'm ulting.
I'm on Jace, guys. They're dead.
Let's go. Ultimate keeps him alive for now. A lot of damage on Cloud9.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
And here comes your janitor, baby! Mop and bucket at the ready. It's Bjergsen on cleanup duty. Svenskeren's gonna be taken low. Sneaky's gonna be taken down.
Jinx a flash.
Look at Jinx.
Nice. We win. Cowboy. Nice.
Can we end or no? We're going game 5, boys. Let's block my VR. Thomas Kedrovich is too.
I wouldn't have, wait, guys.
Iski versus Acadian, 1v1, not gonna be 1v1 for long, and Acadian takes him out.
Nice. Let's go. Fight. We win these. Hard. Pass.
I can get
Flash. Let's go.
Okay. I have a fake flash here. Yeah, I'm going.
Nice.
Look at me.
He has some. He has fun.
Nice.
Sneaky dashing forward, looking to grab the damage onto that enemy mid laner. Bjergsen firing back. And that's TSM will take us to game number 5. The flank comes in, and Cloud9 is on the run. Licorice has to flash away. The Broken Blade is in hot pursuit.
Or no. Let's go. No flash one.
I'm going, boys. I'm in there.
I'm smurfing, guys.
Sneaky's in the low, barely getting himself out alive. Licorice is the next target.